Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, not in the cabin boys trench, so to speak. And I've been having a ball with those that are literally on the chat that have been waiting for a considerable amount of time. Sorry for any hiccups as an introduction with the automation of the live streaming in the YouTube beta, so to speak. Rather than take a chance on the automation commencement of the stream, I decided to quickly start it again to make sure that you guys got the best chance of having a favorable outcome. So here we are, Spartan Mouth. How you going, mate? I've been Spartan Mouth before, and as a result, I go home in a taxi alone. We've got Rory here. Welcome to the Patreon. Welcome to here. West Sydney is not West Side. It's the Bronx. I live there too. Bang, bang. I can hear the shots ringing now. Guys and gals, moderators, and those that are here tonight, if this is your first time here to the trenches, then what I want you to do is subscribe to the channel. It subscribes to you. This is a forever channel. It's an Australian channel. It's the only veteran channel that is here to assist you in your wants, your needs, your mentoring, whether it be preparing for the first life in military, Air Force, Navy, slap the cabin boy, or whether it be for Army. Then this is the place to be. So many people come here, move on, and have a successful transition into the military machine, so to speak. And everyone seems to have a fairly high regard for what they received passively through communicating and how that assisted them on their way, so to speak, as they go on their journey. But it's not just for them. It's for people who want entertainment. We talk about anything. The chat over here steers where we go, whether it be around my Ellen DeGeneres hairstyle, whether it be the Cotton Eye Joe shirt I'm wearing, the best of 1987 winter edition of Lowe's, or whether you just want to steer it in a different direction completely. Tonight, we're happy for someone else. And I'm about to tell you about the leader that has risen, not from the ashes. He hasn't been burnt yet. But we're going to be happy for someone else. If you're not having a good time at the moment, if you've been affected by the COVID, then I am really sympathetic, sincerely, for what you're going through. And tonight, this is going to be about leadership, something that is lacking. And we're going to determine, do you have what it takes to be a leader? Do you want to be one? Or would you rather keep the ship afloat by being a support element? There's benefits to both. There definitely is. And we're going to get into that. We're going to unpack it all for you in a moment. South is fishing. I'll do a diploma in nursing next year. Can I be a combat medic in the Army? Look, the combat medic doesn't come from a medical corps. So, of course, you can. It comes from combat corps. Lauren, hi, Emma. Emma's here. Dave says hello. G'day, mate. Love the movie, Dave, about the American president, so to speak. Swollen Wognuts. G'day, mate. How you going? Good to have you here. And Jackie Turtle. We've got Kane all the way from the north. He's leapt from the nest, and he's here to see West Side from West Side, and that is Jay Hayes. We've got the big-eyed 6, which is all over our Navy compliment here. We're good, mate. We're good. Apart from the fact that there is no puppies going for sale in Australia at the moment, and my daughter is waiting for that puppy, said puppy, so to speak. She said, give away all my toys, Dad. I'd be happy just to have something that I can hug that can be my best friend, my brother, my sister, so to speak. Made me feel terrible. But I'll do something about that. Will is here. I've never realised that about your hair. Yeah, it's I look at the 10 top most influential lesbians, and then I do my hair just like that. So hopefully I can keep everyone happy. We've got Emma here. Lauren, she is very strong, still against me enlisting. And my brother did his first day of infantry reserves, and I thought his opinion might change for the better. It got worse. Can't keep everyone happy, but this is your life. It's now or never. You got, a few years to make a decision yet, but so that's okay. They'll come around. Let actions determine your fan club. Do something about it rather than say something about it, and you find that people become believers of the actions that you go after. I'm going to be something, it should be, why do you do that? Because I'm doing this, rather than I want to do this, now let me do something about it. People will start to become believers. And tonight we're going to hear about a personal individual from this channel that has reached for the stars, so to speak. One of the gutsiest decisions that I have seen in my life. And I'm really proud to be in this kid's corner. Really, really proud. And he is a kid at the moment. Jared, fantastic talk we had today. I really enjoyed it. And we'll talk in another couple of days. Lauren, don't give away Derek. There he is. You think he's just a doll? You think, Kaz, what are you doing with that weird, where does he touch you symbol there? Well, that's because my daughter, I use that doll to talk to her via her doll to get messages on the things of life that I want her to be imprinted, that are important to me, that she won't listen to Dad if I said, sit there, I want to tell you about life. But if the doll tells it to her, it goes in. She's happy. Catonius, our favourite Roman. Here you go, mate. The hair's looking good, actually, Kaz. Thank you very much, mate. Not many of my age actually have any. Mr. P, how's your hair going there, my man? No singing, he says. Well, you know what, Mr. P? That's me in the corner. That's me in the spot. Watching the cabin boy get his dessert. And that was for the Navy out there. Well, Riley Brown, Kaz, what's your opinion on the Army cadets? Look, mate, there is an evolution normally between cadets. And then it goes on to either Army Reserve, regular Army, gap year somewhere in between, and then Navy, Air Force, coppers, firemen, etc. And it's a necessary and a fantastic step for those that do it, that don't get lost in the woods, so to speak. You got to know to get the hell out of there and know when you go from a kid, start to turn into an adult, and then make that evolution. You don't ever want to be the king of the kids. Kane, hey, Kaz, I'm doing my aptitude test tomorrow. Fingers crossed, eyes crossed, and everything else, mate. All the best. Take your time, and remember, don't create wrong answers. Go as many as you can get right, then come back to them. Don't dwell on questions, mate. Dave D is a leader, and that has been determined by those that are leaders, paid leaders, not managers, who have said to him, go forth, young man. Go forth, middle-aged man. Legless man. Jack, g'day, mate. I'm in cadets. Well done, mate. I would have been in cadets if I had have been known they existed when I joined the before, when I was growing up. Definitely. Jay Hayes, Westside. Dave D, join officer cadets. There you go. Dave is an officer cadet, which is lower than the Kapuka recruit. Rob Kent, I think the rest of my country is going to do a reverse Brexit against us here in Victoria. It feels that way, mate. You know what? You have to make a decision. You have to stand to it, and you have to make it make sense. And then it sticks. We've got Leo Wanker. He's going broke with each one of these streams. Nutsu Cow, thank you very much, mate. Guys and gals, let's get to it. South is fishing. How are you, mate? How to get in the SWAT teams? Go in normal police, and then from there, they'll do an application system for that. They'll have a look at what your ability is as a police officer, what your record is. Can you be a team member? And then they'll do the necessary training for that. So I'm not going to say, Kaz, after basic, can you do your ITs when you're ready? Or is you talk about Army Reserve there? Or is it straight after? If you're going for regular Army swollen log nuts, then you will do it 2 days after you graduate from Kapuka. No warnings. If you go to infantry, you will do a BFA the very first full day that you're at the School of Infantry. If you don't pass, then you may not go into session, and that means you could be there like the ones right now who weren't ready, a lot of them, who didn't make it into the top 48 out of the 80-something, and therefore they will wait a month to a month and a half before they even commence their 13-week training, all because they didn't do as much work as the others to get ready. And that's why we come here, to learn, to passively learn, to prepare for the big leagues. Guys and gals, if we said hello to everyone here, it is important that we listen tonight. I'm going to tell you about a story that I cannot tell you his real name. And no, he's not a dentist. But tonight, please hold off in comments for a while. Listen to what we have to say about this guy, and then we'll go back into your questions. And what does it mean to be a leader? The burden of command. Do you want it? Are you a leader? Well, stop it. If you were white, I'd hit you. Okay, let's listen to what happened. I had a conversation with someone who has been your friend, your comrade in the comments for well over a year, who's been with this channel and passively been learning at the same time while they were going to school, and had a hard on for history, for military history, but had thought to himself, tell me if I get it wrong, said leader that I'm reaching out for tonight. And basically he wanted to do military history and wanted to do this degree. But then you think to yourself, but there is no job for someone with a degree in military history. It is something you go back to after you've had a professional career, and you normally fund that as an interest, as a skill set, a historian, whatever. It normally goes with something else. This kid, 17 years old, at school right now, not right now, you're going to be proud of this guy, Lauren. What he did was he decided to go for ADFA. He decided to go for the OSB, Officer Selection Board, understanding that what his skill set was the fact that he was a blank canvas. I don't have all the answers. When you ask me what I can offer you, I'm telling you what I can do is mold to what you need, that I can listen, that I understand that I'm not perfect, but I have all of the qualities that you've listed here, and I can see that they exist in my life. But how are you going to listen to a 17-year-old that says, I'm that guy, without getting some runs on the board? So they had a decision. Instead of there's three things, remember, at the OSB: not recommended, tell me if I'm wrong, Dave, recommended, okay, with basically more information, etc., and then highly recommended, here's a contract. Boom. Well, this kid, still at school, probably surrounded by other people going through similar situations. What am I going to do when I get out of here? I act so tough in the playground, but am I ready? Am I ready? What am I going to do? Am I going to be a tradie? Am I going to be an electrician? Am I going to work at Bunnings? What am I going to do? Well, what he decided to do is go for the military. And they said to him, you are highly recommended. And what they did is they turned around a piece of paper and they basically said to him, thank you, ASMR. Here's a contract. We're going to offer this to you. And this is what happens in this contract before we tell you the duration of said contract. You're going to go to the academy. You are going to do a degree in military history. What a blessing that would be for starters. And I'm going to stop there for a second, because consider this. If he'd gone to do this, he'd be paying for the residential component, to live on the campus, to pay for his food, to have a job that he'd have to forecast. How much does it cost to do this degree? How big is my HEX bill? Will I get distracted? You know, it's going to cost a fortune to do this, and will I even get a job in that field? Well, instead, they've wiped away all those worries, and they said, you're going to go to RMC. Okay, you're going to go down for ADFA, and what you're going to do is commence a historical military degree. And what's going to happen for that 3 years is, in the first year, you're going to get paid $43,000 as opposed to probably paying $33,000, everything included. And then the second year, you're going to go up to $46,000. And then the third year, $55,000. All of this while being a trainee and being under 21 years old. And then what's going to happen is you're going to be in RMC for the last year, going in as class 2 of the 3 classes. And what's going to occur from there is then you're going to graduate. We don't know what corps you're even going to go to yet. You're going to have a degree. You're going to have your commission from the Queen. Sorry if that was too loud, team. And your life is going to be laid out for you. What do I mean by that? Well, how long was said contract? and then we'll talk about that. So he's got the degree. He'll be going for the degree starting at the start of next year. He is also going to be going for RMC. So it's a 4-year commitment, yeah? Not even. What it's going to be is 11 years. 11 years with the Rosso. Sign that, young man. Decisive decision-making, judgment calls, action is something that make up the officer. He made the decision. He signed the paper. Now he knows, and is probably the only person at his entire school that has the next 11 years paid for, worries stripped away, his best mates he's about to meet in the next 6 months. Everything is going to rain down on this kid. Responsibility for action. No peer pressure. The traits required. Moral courage. Dress and bearing. No peer pressure. Learning. Self-awareness. Judgment. Self-improvement. He's going to have so many things dumped onto him with the burden also of responsibility and command. To be able to know that you're going to go to an organization where you could end up being an officer with 28 people similar age to you. No, I don't party with them, even if it's in Cuba. My job is to have professional separation so that I can make those tough decisions, but still know my team without familiarity breeding contempt. This kid has signed the paper. That is a manly decision right there. And I could imagine, I'll put this one to you guys for a second. Lauren and Dave, I'll tell you what this guy's name is offline, but I'm not going to tell you on here because we've got to respect the fact that you've got to keep below the radar with this rifles pointing inwards instead of at the enemy, so to speak. But could you imagine? Let us know. Emma, Lauren, Dave, Jay, Monish, good to have you here. How many people do you think when he said, I signed on for 11 years, went, oh, why would you do that? And you're like, you don't even have a job idea yet. You have absolutely no stability in one of the most unstable times of Australian history. I've got 11 years of free medical, university degree paid for, board and lodging, everything from me coming back to the point where I'm probably going to have children, a house half paid off. I'm going to be the best that I can be. Not me, him. If I had a hat on, I'd take it off because I'm really, really proud of this kid. And I really mean it. You know that I'm not really there for ADFA. I'm not a big fan of taxpayers paying for university degrees that get discontinued. But this is going to travel with this kid. And the fact that he's done it on military history means that he could be one day a red tabber. What does that mean? That means he doesn't stop at major. He doesn't stop at lieutenant colonel. He can rocket man all the way to the top. He could be someone one day that you're talking about going, I met that guy who stayed humble because he had people like Monish in his corner, Jay Hayes, because he had Slim Jim Bob, because he had all of this information that was around him and people that didn't judge him on his age. They created a place, an atmosphere, an arena of ideas where you could come in and speak the truth. And this kid, he is going to have to work so hard. He is. But there's going to be no distractions. He's in a class, not getting distracted from anyone. He's going to be surrounded by peers and mentors with rank. He's then going to be given more responsibility once he goes to second class, where he starts to look after third class, etc., because they look after each other in a mentorship in the Lord of the Fly system. It's amazing. When you go for the OSB and people say to you, well, why do you want to be an officer? I was very surprised that the question that didn't get asked for people going on their OSB was, who's your favourite or who's your most influential individual in the history that has made you say, I want to do more? What has made you that self-starter? Is it your father? Is it someone from recent times? Is it someone who's military? Is it someone who's successful, or is it someone who was unsuccessful but then worked their way back up and weren't beaten and used gumption like Genghis Khan? Was it someone who made an army that beat a consular army from nothing but leadership, peer on peer? People followed him in the absence of rank and nearly overthrew the most powerful empire on earth, the Roman Empire. I'm talking about Spartacus. From a slave to a gladiator to an escaped slave to the general of an army that defeated a consular army. Amazing. That is leadership. Unlike Alexander, who got an army handed to him with riches, ready to go, with a cadre of generals that had been handed down to him by his father, who was already one of the most successful people that was in their region. Well, Mac, I wonder how his parents reacted. They're very proud. I believe his mother let some tears go. The thumbs come out of the damn wall, bam, but they're in his corner. They respect his decision. They're proud of him. They know that their son is going to come back, not just a man, but a commissioned man, a leader of men, a leader of volunteer men and women, the leader of a team. The most dangerous rank in the military is lieutenant and captain, but not major. Why? Because lieutenant and captain have to be very careful that the senior lion, the major, someone with no supervision, doesn't take slight from the fact that they have more leadership capabilities, that they are not loved by the men, that they are not, we're not talking about Navy there, that they are not so different that there is something hypnotizing about their leadership that makes them an enemy. Because remember, you are always in competition when you're a military officer, always. Timmy Doust, the kid is where I want to be. Man, if that was my kid, I would be taking him for a beer. As far as I'm concerned, he has already made a man's decision. I'd let him step up and I would treat him like a man now. Preston McDeed, that's a good name. Have you subscribed to this channel, Preston? Because I'd love a name like that as our channel, in our channel. I want to pursue a role as infantry officer. Any advice? Preston, you need to understand one thing. One, you've got to go and you've got to get into an OSB, which means you have to be on the intellectual side of the U session that makes them get your attention, or they get your attention, you get their attention. From there, they'll offer you an OSB where you go in with up to 12 people. You will do selected tasks that they'll give you an outline for, and they'll determine, yes, maybe, or definitely, whether you can go for that. Once you go to RMC, or when you go to ADFA, then RMC, 4-year commitment if you go to ADFA, not to mention the time in the rank after that, then what will occur is, I'm losing my place. You won't get a corps given to you until you're completing the end of your training, so to speak, that you can fit in there, that you can match what your job will be. Would you be someone who suits combat roles? Do you have that saber-rattling inspiration that would make others follow you? Or do you not have that? But are you a whiz at the echelon? Are you amazing at setting up what it takes to get people to the front? You know, are you a logistics champion? And depending on how you go, will be what you get chosen into, but you can't just drop out. All right. So you don't get your core like when you go to Kapooka, and I don't believe you should get your core before you get to Kapooka either. I'm not a fan of that. You should have to earn your position at Kapooka, because you might come out and prove that you are absolutely the opposite of the core you're going for. Yep. Anyway, I'm very impressed. Ace of Games, 7-year-old set for life. Absolutely. As an officer, as ADFA degree for the next 11 years. What a champion effort. 11 years, unless something badly happens to him. Okay. There's always the chance of falling on your sword, so to speak. And you've got to keep away from the Lord of the Fly, those people that will get in your way to bring you down. Professional arrogance, you need that too. to rise amongst other leaders. When you put a lot of leaders together and then add immaturity and ambition, which is the killer of many great men, it can be a dangerous world. And then add alcohol, females, whew, that's some wicks, okay, that are lit that head towards that dynamite. You've got to stay on your journey, son. Billy Harding, what's his OP score? Look, I don't know what that is. An OP score did not exist too many years ago. It's a fairly new thing. Will Macker, Kaz, what is your experiences with the artillery observers? I've had him in my call sign before. They travel with us in an administrational role in the centre, tactically on the inside of a tactical environment. And as that goes there, they stay out of the fight. And their job is to be prepared to call in indirect assets onto said target after setting up a gun line, a secondary means of communication to the rear. Okay, and they will do basically what we tell them to do, when we tell them to do it. Good people. But make sure you go to Townsville, because then you'll be put in with tactical call signs rather than artillery call signs like would happen if you're in Darwin, so to speak. Kyle, hey, Kaz, what's the chance of negotiating your pay in the military? None. You don't join for the money, mate. You learn how to use money. There is no negotiation of wage at all. None. Boydie, and you can't, you know what? You don't get paid enough. You cannot get paid enough for some of the things that you do within the military, believe me. But you also wouldn't want it not to happen, because that is where character is built. Let's have a look at some of the things I've written down here. Some of the principles of leadership, etc. Know yourself and seek self-improvement. If you turn up and you want to be an officer, okay, I'm going to ask you, I would ask you, who were your mentors? If you didn't have any, I'd be thinking, someone's got a personality disorder or they're immature. I'd ask them, I want you to consider, what are some negative traits about yourself? Because if you don't know how to find a negative trait about yourself, chances are you also cannot hear criticism, take criticism, change your plan, never marry your plan, be ready to change the course of action, DOS, that's 2, or 3 at a moment's notice. Technical and tactical proficiency. Know your weapons, know your acronyms, know what everything means. Okay, your sense of responsibility among peers. This has been lacking at RMC in the last few years, and there's been multiple scandals that have occurred that should not have happened. And that includes from some of the female cadets that had allegations after sexual behavior had happened, which they should have lost their job anyway, because it says no fraternization. She broke the law and then cried wolf after that. She was not the victim, okay? Make sound and timely decisions. Your job, the art of leadership, is to present the other officer, the commander of the threat force, the people you are trying to defeat. Your job is to present them with tactical dilemmas. Think quickly. Use, what was I going to say? Use tactics to present that you think I'm coming from this way, but really I'm coming from that way. What your job is to do is present them with tactical dilemmas that give them 3 options: run away, freeze, or fight. Let's take away fight. And if we're going to fight, let them come towards our strengths as we hit them in a flank with our strengths, so to speak. We look at our strengths, we look at theirs, and then we look where we overlap, and that's where we center on them. You might think this is an army against another army. More often than not, it is one man versus one man. But the people within Commonwealth Bank, the people within his organisation are his actual tools. Yep, his toolbox. Strategy, how do we defeat the army, enemy, threat, situation, problem, before we even put a foot on the ground? Tactics, what do we physically do on the ground to defeat that said threat, army, decision-making process, etc. We've got a lot of tools for that. Okay, the individual military appreciation process. I'm not going to go into that, but we use that. So what it does is it makes information you would not expect fall out and go, I didn't expect that. And that can frame us with courses of action that we can use that we never would have normally thought about, using people as stand-in analytical people from red force, meaning the enemy, the threat force, who we're going to conquer, right down to blue force. Let's talk about ourselves. What are our restrictions? Are our books cooked? Yes, they are. Then tell me the goddamn truth. Where are our problems? Is our capability meet physically on the ground what we're saying it is on paper? No, it's not. And there's a country that represents that very well, and it starts with C and it ends with A, and their color is red. Cooked books. Oliver, please, sir, can I have some more? Project strength onto enemy weakness and hide weakness from enemy strength. Yes. And do it in a speed, in a decision action cycle that is faster than what he can cope with. And the best person, I reckon, that was ever able to do that was Julius Caesar. There's a general right there. And a politician. He was the best of the best. So good they had to get rid of the threat. Someone else is like that right now over in the USA. Jimmy, here you go, mate. Hey, Kaz, my assessment session is coming up. I may need a phone call before it happens. Is that okay? Jimmy, not only is it good, it's perfect. I'd love to speak to you this weekend. Get on board. Let's do it. Catonius, did we ever chat about the Chinese border troops clubbing 30 Indians to death in hand-to-hand skirmishes the other week? Yeah, we did. Not on here. I did with others, and there's some real dramas happening over there, I tell you, because the military is very unhappy with their commanders. Did I say not too cow, Jimmy? There you go. I think that takes us to 2 cows tonight. Stickman. Must be Canada. There's the most feminine boss they've ever had. Can't trust a man that wears socks like that. Fugly. G'day, mate. Here you go, moderator. And Mr. P. Have I done anything wrong yet today? Royal Australian Engineers. They're problem solvers. Logistically. You've got Trajan, who wanted to get ready to go and beat the Dacians, but he used Apollodorus to build one of the best bridges in history, an engineer, to build that bridge, said bridge, then went across it, defeated them, came back, burned the bridge, Mr. Apollodorus. So that was the tactical arm mixed with the logistic arm that got them in the correct position, won the day. Opportunity. Let's talk about that. Leadership, no matter what you do in your life now to become a leader, you still need an opportunity to let you, Lauren, is shine. You need that opportunity. Without that opportunity, no one would have known General Cosgrove, what he was capable of. No one would have known that Custer, was boldly arrogant, but it got him to the position where he got in a fight with Little Bighorn, but then he flew too close to the sun and lost his way. Opportunity, Genghis Khan started off with a Kibosh tribe of less than 5 and grew into one of the biggest nations on earth and conquered the toughest people on the ground, including the Western empires that were led by Crusader armies that he defeated in a morning. Went to Afghanistan, defeated it in a couple of weeks. Guys and gals, I will put, after this is over, the link to Dan Carlin. He is, I believe, the best podcaster in the world. Bar none, the best. And everyone you know that has heard of, that likes Jocko, that likes Joe Rogan, all those guys, they listen to him too. This guy got referred to me by a colonel from the US, who came over here and said, Kaz, you like history? Have you heard of Dan Carlin? No, I don't. I haven't heard of him. Listen to him. Addicted. Monish, how do I get a phone call with you, Kaz? Normally, people go and join us on the Patreon, which puts you onto the white phone, okay? That white phone is the phone that is dedicated to this channel. Go on to Patreon. It's $5 a month, and that $5 gives you a one-on-one opportunity to be mentored. With the money that goes into it, we look after other people we don't know and make them feel good. And we're going to talk about what we're going to do with that to make you guys even happier about said guy that we're talking about tonight. Lauren, can you please remind me about that one, please? Jack. Hi, Kaz. How are you? Hope you haven't given up on the 100 daily push-ups. Thanks for the videos. Jack, interesting you say that. Boom. I've done it every single day except for one, and that was only because I was taking my little girl and her best friend to the zoo up in Newcastle. I've done it every day, and my time has gone from 14 minutes 30 down to 7 minutes 40. So 14:30 down to 7:43, I think it is. I'm pretty happy. I've got a long way to go, but I feel alive. I can't ask you to get up and go for a run, to work on your push-ups, to do that beep test. I don't want to hear what you want to do. I want to hear your actions because I do it too. And I'm 49 years old, and that's no crutch. It's no excuse. I'm choosing actions because it's not fair for me to ask you to do something and then do nothing in return. And I tell you what, when you stop exercising, you become a lesser version of yourself. I didn't realize how quick I'd drop off. So I'm doing something about it. Lithuania pagans saw him off, though. Catonius saw Genghis Khan off and his men. I'll have to look up that one. That wasn't my recollection, although I wasn't born. Harvey says, Kaz, can I have a phone call, please? I'm feeling down about my life. Harvey, I'm not there for that, mate. I can have a conversation with you, but what I don't need, okay, is to keep myself in a shroud of negative energy. You know, when I talk to people, we get on there and we laugh and we talk shit right from the start. Yep. But as someone with PTSD, what I can't afford to do is go and be surrounded by the vampire, the morale vampire that makes me feel worse. I can make you feel good. You know, we can have a laugh. We can talk about ways to improve you one bite of the elephant at a time until there's only left the ivory, which we can't take away because that'd be illegal. You know, but I'm happy to help you, mate. I am happy to help you, but not from a negative point of view, okay, man? Happy to help. Major Benson, Wilfred Payne. Should the military be involved with the state lockdowns? Absolutely, especially Victory with that commie loving Andrews. These soldiers are going into the same. No one complains when they go and help a bushfire. They're going down there with no weapons just to assist because there's not enough police to do the job. And something else. Why are they using private security to do anything? That's costing millions when these soldiers cost nothing. They're already being paid. And this is something good that goes on their ability to show, okay, the reputation of the Anzac, that they're there to help. If someone doesn't like police, then a soldier comes over, tip of the hat to you. How you going, mate? How can I help? Excuse me, mate, you've been told not to do that. How about you get on your way? How many people do you reckon have gone up to these soldiers, male or female, and said to them, can you tell me a little bit about the army? My son would love to join. Okay, mate. Whenever I was in uniform with the Australian flag here, I always made sure when I was around the men that were with me, okay, that I went over to civilians. How you going? Can come out of the military going and assist in the civil service. No one complains when there's an earthquake. No one complains when there's a cyclone. No one complains when there's flooding. They shouldn't complain when there's COVID. And if a case was so bad that it needed soldiers to go down there with clubs, I'd have no problem with clubbing an Australian if they were doing the wrong thing, if they were endangering others, if they were endangering the police or other soldiers, if they were endangering you. Otherwise, we treat everyone, like they've got 100 points all the time because they're the people we're representing. Chafee, the legend, self-confessed. Hi, Kaz. Sorry for the repeating myself, but which course would you choose out of artillery, armoured, and aviation? Or to be between aviation and armoury, and armoured corps? I'm looking at being MRH 90 pilot I'm doing cadets for a while. Mate, when you get a little bit closer, you'll know. But if you can be an MRH 90 pilot, I don't really like them that much. I'd say go for that. Double glazed windows at your unit. Can't work more than 8 hours. Sucking on a chocolate milk while the rest of us are sweating their own filth. You'd be a legend if you had that. Armoured vehicle. 2 or 3 people to a vehicle. You got the name on the side of the vehicle. No restricted terrain, not much. Have a ball. Artillery, not so much. Sorry, artillery, but not so much. Rory, that's why I don't think I'll have any regrets going for infantry. You won't. Oh, no, you won't. I already have something to fall back on. Just want to get my life moving in a different direction as fast as possible. Good on you, Rory. And you know what? There is nothing better than putting your boots on in the morning, turning up at 7:20, laughing at the stories of your buddies, and then from there preparing for the day. What's the big adventure we're going to face today? What's the common threat? Is the threat just getting knocked off early? Let's go for that. Mattman, how quick you can drop off after not exercising? Yep, I know all about that moment. I can't see my dick anymore. It's covered by this sack of rum that's grown between my ribs and my pelvis. Do something about it, mate. Do something about it. Not for the ladies, but for yourself. Sorry, Emma was saying something just up there. The military are joining in with us on Victorian border. Yep, it's good. Share the load. Share the load. Harvey, yes, I'm a vet. I'm a vet. Good on you, mate. But the videos on my channel is my younger cousin. Oh, okay. I'm not a rush, just ready for change. Rory, got to make a change. Michael Jackson. Will Macker, Kaz, I have mild asthma. Should I shut up about it or tell DFR? Look, if you've been to hospital for it, if you've had attacks for it, you need to tell DFR, mate. You have to. And then they'll make a decision if it's mild. They'll make you do a lung expansion test to see what you can do. And then from there, you'll have the opportunity to either shine, or they might say, mate, if we say no to you, it's because we're trying to do you a favour. You wouldn't understand that at the moment, but you will if something, the last thing you want to do is be in a predicament where you have an asthmatic attack with no one that can actually help you, from basically passing away in someone's arms. Lauren, it's fine to repeat your question, folks. Absolutely. If Kaz doesn't get to it, pop it in the comments after the stream is uploaded. Worst case scenario, add $2 to it. It glows. We see the question. You get a Nutsu cow, and then you get answered almost straight away. Civilians are smelly, says Stickman. Well, I bought a pillow today from Aldi, which has charcoal lining, which apparently takes away the odor from mouth breathers. Okay. Stoddy, what unit were you in, Harvey? Harvey, you are... Yeah, okay. Harvey, are you a veteran? Are you actually? Who are you with? Will Macker, do infantry soldiers assist with things like bushfires and floods? They can, mate. They can, but the SES, etc., are trained for that. The last thing we want to do with our flammable uniforms is come down there and then be, okay, I'm ready to do the hose work. No, we're ready to go down there and give manpower. I'm not talking about buttons undone, strippers. We give a paid professional force that has a structure. And then like Kangaroo Island, some of our subscribers worked with military down there. If I turn up and you're the subject matter expert, I'm more than happy to go, how can I help? All right. Here's a line that I found today that I really liked. Really, really liked. Good ideas don't have a rank. Well, there's no rank to good ideas, which means if you're asked for your opinion and you give it, and it's a fantastic opinion, then it'll be listened to. That's what we do. And sometimes that's where our second and third course of actions come from. Rex, how you going, Tyrannosaurus? What's going on? Harvey's going off crazy, is he? Stoddy, medic. Lauren Harvey said he was, but the videos on his channel are of his younger cousin. What's going on there? Emma, Reserves assisted with bushfires as they are basically Aussie bound. Yep, they're to help. They're an emergency service. Sam Rhodes, okay, has been following you for ages. Have passed all aspects of recruitment, now waiting for enlistment. I've been told April, May, October, November. Now April next year. Appreciate your content. Good on you, Sam. Just stay patient, mate, because I'm telling you, and Madison will tell you, it can happen like that. Madison was almost going for their pre-enlistment fitness program at Kapuka. Put a candle under her own butt and then ended up doing, I think it was 36 push-ups, passed the run and 64 sit-ups, passed with flying colours. Well done to Madison. She's at work at the moment, but definitely hats off to that Patreon princess, and we wish her the best. She really put in the hard work. Sam, okay, we got Sam there. Slim Jim Bob, sign up for a door gunner. That'd be a great job. That's a load master, but I'm not a fan of, cleaning something unless I get to fire it too. Chaffee the Legend, good on you, Kaz. No worries. Timmy Doust, Kaz, do you think artillery should get self-propelled howitzers? Yes. I'm not sure on the names of them, mate, but what we should be getting away from is line artillery, self-propelled guns that can be on all different environments, individually or in pairs, whatever. Okay, and then from there, able to hit the same target with pre-recorded information, etc. That makes survivability for them a lot better too. My best mate of cadets has borderline personality disorder. He's 17 and he's worried about it affecting his chance of joining, especially. I don't think he'll be able to do what you think. Bullfrog, he'll know when he goes. It's your own journey. This is a step into being an adult too. When you go to the military, it's not holding hands of anyone else. Expect that if 5 of you go, 5 best friends, that 2 of you won't make it. It's generally the way it works. Yep. And they're not going to be, this is not about surrounding yourself in comfort blankets. You've got to be able to do the hard work yourself. Here's some of the principles that we looked at with leadership I thought was quite interesting. We talked about knowing yourself and seeking self-improvement, tech and tactical proficiency, the sense of responsibility among peers. Yep. Make sound and timely decisions. Yes. Set the example. Be fitter. If there's a BFA, I'm going to the front. I want to show you what 100 push-ups in 2 minutes looks like. I'm going to beat you in the run. If there's anything you can physically do to showcase what and who you are, then that's a no-brainer. Get those points. That's money in the bank. Keep your people informed. There is nothing worse than being led by a commander that keeps you in the dark. What do we want to know? When do we get to sleep next? How far do we have to go? Okay, when are we coming home? That's all we really care about. But we need to know. If you don't, then what you will get is people start to, what do we call it? The morale starts to lower. And low morale is the fault of the commander of that organisation. I.e., if Victoria at the moment is unhappy, that is their Premier's fault. New South Wales, Premier's fault. Country, potentially the commander's fault. Okay, seek responsibility and take responsibility. This one's a dangerous one. This is a dangerous one because a lot of lieutenants want to get to general, and ambition is the death of many young careers. Because if you try to be ambitious and you try to volunteer your men who are there year after year after year after year, you're only there for 2, DOS, Spanish. And you volunteer to make them work harder when they've just come off the back of something difficult and you've denied them the ability to rest, party, pillage, then you could pay. You could pay with the morale of your organisation. You need to make sure that when you step up, okay, that you do so, work out, is this the moment? Is this the fight? And do it in a way that's different to others. Don't change the shop front for the sake of changing the shop front, which is something that our young officers do way too much in the Australian Army, way too much. Come in, watch the shop front, see if it works. Create something different. Different is better than good. and ensure that assigned tasks are understood. As a commander or a manager, too often we see someone sent away with potentially the trust, the implied task or specified task to go away, do that and do it now. And the person's but, just go and do it. And then they get upset when it's not met. With the military, we shouldn't be panicking. Okay, we should always be 2 steps ahead of where we need to be. So what we do in the military is normally we give someone a plan, we give someone a task, and then you say, in a minute, give me a back brief on how you're going to skin that cat, so to speak. And then when they come back and let us know with this back brief, tactical back brief, they might say a risk to plan is where they need more people, they need more equipment, they need more time, okay, and how they can mitigate those risks. Well, what would make it easier for you, Lauren? How you propose to do that if I say nothing? Well, I'll tell you that it can't be done. Sometimes a commander needs to say it cannot be done. And that's moral courage, and you have to have it. Otherwise, the ship can sink. We've got Drunk Aussie, ODST. Any questions, Drunk Aussie? And are you still drunk? Can you trust someone that doesn't drink or never has drunk? Is there something about their personality they're hiding? Are the true words of a man when he's actually had too much, when he's loosened his tongue, so to speak? There is a reason why women have been used for eons to get information out of men, using alcohol and the honeypot. Okay, know your team. Know your team, judge your team. When you're in the military, and I'm getting a little bit startled because I'm hearing, I don't know if this happens in the cops there, JC. Good to have you here. Nutsu Cow. The last photo I saw of JC, he had a liter of beer. And I'm not sure if he was drinking that because he'd had too many pretzels that are making me thirsty. What show is that from, team? These pretzels are making me thirsty. They're making me thirsty. When we do reporting, the way it's meant to work, okay, is, and we're held accountable for it, or it used to be, is that an officer has to give you a monthly report on how you've gone. And an additional report if you do a major activity, i.e. helping out with the COVID, with helping in a tactical deployment to Tully, etc. You find out where you are on the grand scheme of things, and you get told with the platoon commander, platoon sergeant as well, if there's some grey matter, if there's some discipline, if someone's about to get their butt kicked, then you'll have more than one person in the room. If everything's flowing fine, that's good. But during those 12 times of the year, or supplementary reports that you get that make up your annual report, then what also occurs is you have the right of response where you say to the platoon commander, I don't like what's going on here. I feel like I'm left out of the loop. There's a problem between me and my section commander. There's a problem between me and my peers. My answer to that would be, can I go to another section? My missus is having a hard time. I'm having a hard time. I'm having a really hard time. Know your people. But also you're going to get told with brutality, you're getting a bit fat. We might start doing fitness tests. You might even get put on remedial PT, where when everyone else goes home, you will report to the area gym, place of parade, and you will do extra PT to wear off some of that LARD, which is not a boat. Okay, it's gut fat. Okay. Yes. So know your team. Know them, care about them. Okay, and for no reason, call them in, have a conversation with them. Know their names, know their families, know their kids. It's important. People are important. Our most important piece of equipment is the human in our organisation. If I can keep a platoon commander in, or a captain or a major, or a platoon sergeant or a section commander or a CSM or an RSM, you're saving the army so much money. And you're also saving the skill sets, the knowledge, the corporate knowledge, so that they can stay in there. The lower the rank you are, the private soldier, I'd ask you, do you want to go on past 4 years? If you say, no, I absolutely don't, then I will have less time to spend on you because you've already told me you're a short timer. You don't want to be here much longer. But if you're here longer, then I'm going to start to mold you. I'm going to give you responsibility. I want you to show me that you can do more, and do you want it? And if you do, I'll give you the opportunity to shine and get promoted. But if you don't want that and you want to get it 4 years, I should leave you alone to make your arms as big as possible, to have fun on the gas and take it easy. Enjoy your world. Because we need you all. Will Macca, does 2AR do extra training because they're amphibious? They would do more specialized training to do with water. And I don't necessarily understand why, because normally if a ship goes down, we're going to be kilometers offshore. So what does it matter if you can do 400 meters? You need to be able to swim 50 meters with all your equipment on, or be able to take off all your equipment, let it go to the bottom and survive. But they've got also different small craft licenses, training, yeah. So if they're different, they're gonna have different skill sets to those that are motorized, different to mechanized. I just paid $22 for a beer. Should quit alcohol, but it's delicious. So is coffee. I love them both. But I tell you what, one thing I've found is the more a girl drinks, the better this hairstyle looks. What else we got? Dave, have you been listening to this? Is there anything you want to throw in there, mate? JC, as long as it wasn't a VB vermin broth, then it's okay. Lauren, she doesn't like beer. Are you a red drinker, Lauren? Luke, is the force with you? Hey, Kaz, I haven't got my DPCU yet, and I have a mandatory briefing tomorrow for reserves. What would you class as neat civilian attire? Mate, I would say that you could go in there with cargo pants, leather shoes, and a collared shirt, polo shirt with a belt, maybe tucked in, or you could wear a mandatory briefings. You won't get your uniform until you've done Kapuka, because you don't know how to even walk in a uniform. You don't know how to answer questions. And that leads on to imposters. If you don't know how to answer a question, if you don't know how to wear your uniform correctly, you don't know how to address questions, you don't know that you can't put your hands in your pocket, you can't fold your arms, you can't roll your eyes, you can't eat with your hat on normally, you can't walk, while you're eating, you can't smoke while you're walking. If you don't know how to do any of that, or how to address people or address ranks, then people could actually think, are you an imposter? Is that really you? You go, yeah, I just haven't done any training yet. So people should be saved that embarrassment, and they do it for a reason, mate, honestly. Jimmy, no more money from you tonight, mate. Not your cow. Thank you for the cow. Kaz, I've got to go, mate, but I'll send through a message with my number. Yep. So you know who it is when I call you over the weekend. Thanks for all you do. Jimmy, no dramas. Jimmy Luffnan, cash here, none. Well done, mate. You have a good day. Have a good weekend. We're here to serve you. Guys, can you tell I've had a coffee just before I came on? Major Benson, do you think the level of investment into the ADF is on par or requires more, considering the new level threat of the CCP? Look, we've spent an absolute fortune on Beersheba, on the mechanized, motorized, on everything else that is happening. Money doesn't fix the problems. What fixes the problems is honest training, is looking after and retaining our people, on not cooking the books, which I believe is happening now, on not degrading, the skill sets, the requirements, the basement level to get in, the minimum standard, pre-fit, get rid of it. Under no circumstance should we have that. I don't care about color. I don't care about creed. I don't care about religion. I don't care about gender. I care about the right people with the right attitude, getting in the military, wearing the uniform, wearing it with pride, the Australian flag on here, the arm, and them having a fantastic career as a volunteer, those that step forward. Our money should be on our people, not just our equipment, because our people are the ones that save the day, not our equipment. It's just a tool. I make honey mead sometimes. That sounds very thick. Jay, Nutsu cow, not cerebral palsy. How's it going over there on the west, mate? The almighty pina colada. Major Benson, no matter how much we invest, war with the CCP won't happen. It'd be a flat-out invasion. It won't happen. You're talking about a paper dragon there, mate. That's why you keep friends with people like the USA, the strongest on the block by far. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Kaz, my assessment day is Tuesday. If you get time Monday, I'll shoot a message and see if we can have a quick chat. No worries, says the surfer from Byron Bay that I've never been. I have been a boogie boarder there, but JC throwing the sheep out. Yeah, Kiwi. That's like, look, he's been drinking. It's like porn to him. Moby Adams. How often is Kaz live? Maybe I like to go at least twice a week. Normally the Monday to Tuesday, because I give you the weekends off, and then Thursday or Friday. But yesterday I had a headache like a wife who was trying to say no to her truck driving husband. And I thought it wouldn't be worth it for you guys to see a lackluster, lack of energy, eye swollen bloody stream. You deserve more. So twice with 2 streams a week. We can go to 3 anytime you want. All right, anytime you want. Okay, and then outside that, normally 1 or 2 productions. I want to get a good production out for you this weekend that you'll enjoy. And there's also going to be the extension to the challenges, which are the push-ups. And believe me, everyone out there considering joining the army, you should have already tried the 1 to 20 cadence push-ups. If you can do that, your push-ups are solid, good to go. But we're going to put in there as well planking, because the transverse abdominal muscles will protect your back. They'll make you better at push-ups. They'll make you better at capability. They'll make you stand upright more. They're just good for you. So that's going to be, can you beat Kaz? I don't know how long I can do it for, but I'm going to challenge you in the next couple of days. That video will be out, and I look forward to seeing your response and your laughter, because unlike the push-ups, you're actually going to see me down there as my face goes red, as I start to look like a map, where my veins start to come on my face with that look like roads on the map surface. Rory K, so how much are you going to give me? No cash here. Cash, none. Jimmy Luffnan. 270 billion doesn't go far. No, it doesn't. But you can do $270 billion worth of damage like that. I wish I could communicate to you and tell you what I believe is going to occur in the next 10 years. Less. I wish I could. But every time we talk about those sort of things, this channel goes, and it just breaks down, and our channel gets absolutely attacked by YouTube. 270 billion doesn't go far, but it does if it's spent on this channel. I can't believe that I didn't win the 80 million last year. One person won it, and it wasn't me. I bought 3 tickets just in case, and I would have spent millions on this channel to make this the channel that's got the best hybrid-haired, Cotton Eye Joe shirt wearing veteran. Lauren Shine a couple of times a week, usually maybe, no set schedule. And that is normally because we're normally reacting to something that is happening, something that's happening on the world front, or something to do with, current affairs. Would you like me to start doing some videos that are productions that shows my reaction to things that are happening on Demolition Ranch, things that are happening on overseas military channels, where I can give you a translation, a traductor, the translator, okay, for those said videos. There's already people that do that. But if you want my spin on that with a bit of laugh thrown in there and a little bit of creative license, I can do that for you. Dave D, if you want to join light infantry, you have to join the reserves. Okay, and for us to understand that, we need to remember every single battalion was light infantry very recently. Light infantry means you're not motorized, and you're not mechanized, and you're not amphibious. The light has got nothing to do with the weight of your pack. Light infantry means you are not inhibited by anything that is to do with, it's not attached to the unit. You're not armored. You're not mechanized. You are basically light infantry. 4 rifle companies 3 platoons in each, with a weapons platoon, if they're still going by the 2012 structure, yeah. Okay. And that's also going to have an admin company. It's going to have a support company. That is a light infantry battalion where we can get called up and use any vehicle agency, motorized, mechanized, naval, air. Naval is sea, foot. We become the masters of everything, specialized in nothing other than dismounted, which makes us light infantry. At a moment like that, we can be here when the sun comes up. We're 20 kilometers. We're across the horizon by foot, forced march, adverse conditions, very restricted terrain, and we're there to do the job. And you didn't expect us to be there, and you didn't hear us coming. We're your worst nightmare. And we're also the worst nightmare of special forces. Dave, Jam Man, g'day Kaz from Bendigo. G'day, mate. How you going, Bendigo? I hear you're doing it a bit rough down there, mate. I'm sorry. Okay, all the best. I hope your finances are in order. I hope you get looked after. Press like if you can now, team, so that the stream looks at the thumbs up here and goes, oh, Kaz is on again. I'm going to tell you something else we're going to do here too. And I want Lauren to keep me to this one. One thing that the gentleman that tonight was all about being leadership, which takes way more than average intelligence levels, the ability to solve problems. Okay, the ability that in the absence of actual structure, people would have followed you because there's something about you, your character, your professional arrogance. They sense by following you, they're going to get out of something intact. You're going to win the day. They don't think they can do a better job than you. Something that is not happening in the US politics. There's only one leader, and his name starts with T, and his name rhymes with hump. He is a real leader. You may not like him, but he is a real leader. People follow. He has magnetism. Okay. He's that guy that they need right now. But anyway, you need to be above average intelligence. You need to be able to lead people, not through force, or that might be your leadership style, but you should be able to show people that you're the guy worth backing in the absence of any rank whatsoever. That's leadership. Whether it be a good debater that's able to communicate to people, whether it is someone who is physically good to go, the outstanding member, whether it is someone that seems to have every single base covered, someone who's just better than you. When you go for the OSB, you can let them know who are your most influential mentors in the world and in history. Don't pick Monash. Don't pick Rommel. Low-hanging fruit, too obvious, and they'll already know everything about those guys. Pick someone that's abstract, someone they may not have heard about. Talk about Marius, Gaius Marius, someone that didn't come from elite class that managed to be a consul 7 times in the Republic of Rome and a dictator when required to prevent the bad guy from getting through, so to speak, the wolf getting across the wire, protecting the sheep. Jimmy Smith, not so cow, JS, they like to call him in Portugal. G'day, KIA, Kia ora Kaz. I've just put my name down as a cadet volunteer, defence-approved helper. Any advice in that field? A cadet volunteer. I would say, mate, that you need to go in there and just make sure that you stop the Lord of the Flies from happening in there. That when you're in there, that you understand that it is a very fickle maturity level amongst cadets, and that there is pitfalls you need to be very wary of. People can make real mistakes. I remember when they used to have the cadet masters at the School of Infantry, massive amounts. And there was a shitload of people who got pregnant, from what I've heard. And you're like, hey, that should not be happening. If my daughter went away and came back pregnant, I would not be happy. Just keep them interested. Talk to them. Talk to them above the level they're talking at. If they're 14, talk to them like they're 16. If they're 17, talk to them like they're 19. So they always want to come to you because they feel like you treat them like an adult, like a mentor, someone who is not treating them like they are less than what they can be. We're seeing this guy at the moment who this video is all about that we can't name despite the fact he's not a dentist. The reason why he is striving is because he used leadership. He told them, I don't have the answers, but what I'm willing to do is react to what you say next. Give me an opportunity and I can be the flavored pizza you want me to be. But I'll also have my independent thought processes based on study, on self-realization, on building myself to be the best version of me. So when the opportunity comes for me to shine, I can be that guy that is different to my counterparts, my contemporaries, and I can win the day because of the groundwork that I've done on my knowledge of the team, on inspiration, on being Johnny on the spot, because one day it'll be me. At the moment, this kid is 17 years old. He's just locked on for 11 years. He's going to be a historian. This kid has set his entire future up, and his parents should be proud. So this is what we're going to do. Lauren, we really need to talk to this kid about it. I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say kid here, but what you can do and what this channel can do, if he lets us, is this channel can buy him his sword, his saber, so to speak, his Wilkinson shark grip handle sword that he will carry in ceremonial parades for the rest of his life. Our channel could buy that for him. Wouldn't that be a fantastic thing? So he remembers where he came from, where in leadership, people did not judge him on his age, but what he could be one day. The Elon Musk of the military. Let him stand out amongst his brothers. And they go, what is the secret sauce behind you? And he goes, in the trenches with Kaz. I've had a platoon sergeant since I was at school who helped me, who told me, who gave a damn about where I was going and never told me I couldn't make it. By being mentored by someone that doesn't want to be the boss, by someone who is willing to be not the puppet master, but someone that's willing to slip in the information, because it's never meant to be an individual journey for an officer. It's meant to be team-based the entire way, not with his peers because they're competing against him. With Dave D, anytime he wants, Dave can ring up. Matty Hahn, anytime he wants, he can ring up and say, I've got a dilemma. Help me out. War game it. Let's come up with an answer that they wouldn't expect. Course of action, 1, 2, 3. Don't go to bed until we've got the solution. So when they say to you, pass or fail, how much time did you spend on this? How much time did you sleep last night? You go, I didn't sleep. I prepared. This was my answer. And they will know by your level of commitment to that assessment that you never chose to sleep, because your brain is your weapon. Is only game. Hey, Kaz, I've got my leadership and instructors cadet corporal course coming up. Any advice to me with inspiring leadership? Well, a section commander is not necessarily a leader, mate. They are the commander, sure, okay, but they have tactical ability, yeah. They have people working for them, but it's more straight down the line around SOPs. So all I'd say to you is be as fit as you can while still being humble. Listen to your soldiers, understand what they're capable of, and test them. How fast are they? How strong are they? Can they do QDEs, quick deduction exercises? Can they come up with solutions by themselves? Allow them to step up above their rank so they feel important, and test them and then report on them. I'm not sure if you're reporting cadets. Hey, Kaz, what do you reckon would be some important skills for an artillery observer to have? Fitness, okay, bushcraft, because you need to be able to walk with us. Everything's about your communication skills, right? Maturity, because you're normally going to be dealing with officers all the time, and you're always going to be dealing with people well above your rank. You need to be able to speak with clarity, with purpose, with deliberate intention, because you are controlling a weapon system, the most devastating weapon systems, via the radio. Lauren, throwing a flex out there and a sword. Commonwealth Bank, not by money, only by name. I love this one. Leading people is something you're born with. Leadership, yeah, you can't fake leadership. And a lot of our leaders are fake leaders. They're managers. Leadership comes from experience and having great leaders above you who you aspire to. You can't learn to be a great leader, in your opinion. He said in his opinion. I'm not saying that. I agree with that. However, there is some personalities that are reluctant leaders. Okay, people like Albert Jacka, people that step up, okay, when opportunity arises and say, I can do a better job than that person, and I will step up and do that job in the absence of leadership, structure, outcome. And they do that. Right? Tom Larder, one of my favorite young officers who's now kicking goals in the civilian sector. Love the dude. Captain Gooley, Mr. Parker. Many, many good officers I've worked with. A lot of them are in special forces at the highest levels. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, some of the things I wrote down here. Are you a leader? How do you know? Were you a school captain? Were you a sports captain? Were you a debate leader? Were you driven to do more, to study, to research, to improve yourself? Are you confident? Are you fit? Do you have pride in your appearance? Are you a self-starter? Have you been told you're a leader by your peers or by others? Have you got good judgment? Are you decisive? Are you able to problem solve? Are you above average intellect? Do you have leaders that are your mentors? It's important. Surround yourself in the people you want to be like, and you'll have communications and conversations that you would not normally be part of, and that will make you special. You will learn at an accelerated pace, and you will become the best version of you. And often we get promoted one step above what we are able to do, and that's fine. That's fine. But you need to be honest with that. What is the best rank in the officers class? There's 2 ranks. I believe there's only 2 ranks in the Australian Army that are good ones to be with a commission. The lieutenant. You've got a platoon sergeant to assist you on every single decision, okay, that you allow him to help you with. He will be the metric on your acceptance within the battalion. He will be your spy network. You can go to him as your confidant. What can I do here? What can I do? Can you please help me on this one, Sergeant Caswell? Yep, leave it with me, boss. No dramas. I don't need to yell at the men, okay, because I've got Sergeant Caswell to do that for me. Sergeant Caswell says, no, Dave. I'm going to call you Dave while no one's around, sir, but this one's on you. The guys have overstepped the line. You're the commander. Let's structure what you can, what you can't say, how long you're going to say it for. What are your legs? What are they going to do? Then let's see you do it. And get out there and be a leader, because sometimes the boss, they need to see that sometimes dad gets angry too. Right. So the lieutenant, he's got almost the most amount of room left and right to make his franchise something cool. He's got section commanders, tactical commanders on the ground that he can turn into his little personality of command, and make that something that everyone else wants to be like, that they all want to be like. Platoon commander, the best rank. I want to be in his platoon. Look the way he looks after his men. Look at how much fun they have. Look how hard they work, but they've got the prize. They're the best. Drunk Aussie, thank you very much, mate. Thanks for the stream, Kaz, but out of turn, got to head off and looking forward to the next stream. Drunken Aussie has had one more drink than the drunken sailor. Thank you for the colour of the donation. But again, that's more than we normally need. Yellow, the colour of my spine when I think about doing my 100 push-ups each day. But thank you, mate. Have a good day. And may the spiritual leader of your choice look after you tonight and into the weekend, sir. Have a good day. Thank you. Good night, Jimmy. Is Jimmy good too? Thank you, Drunk Aussie. I love it. I really love this channel. I really do. We're one of the smallest channels, but we hit so much harder than our weight. What do you think about buying the ceremonial sword for this young man once he starts? So he's got the best sword. People are going, holy shit, look at that one. Are you from a rich family? No, but I'm rich. I come from a rich community. Who are they? In the trenches. With you guys, with Drunk Aussie, with Lauren, with Medic, Michael Stott. And one day, he might just look over and go, who's that? And they go, that's me in the corner. For him. I think it'd be great to do that for him. I love the sword plant. They are blunt, but you can cut yourself if you're really okay. But it's a beautiful thing. Major Benson. I wouldn't, because he would give up being so young. I'm not sure what that's about. Flynn. Hi, Kaz, for the assessment session, what kind of info do they expect me to know for infantry? Mate, Flinny, I just know about the battalions. They're not going to be infantry themselves at the assessment session. Don't worry about it too much. Just know where you want to go and why. And that answer should be Townsville or Brisbane. Brisbane or Townsville. Townsville or Brisbane. Because that'll please your missus. You're not going somewhere it's too cold. You're not going somewhere it's too hot. You're going somewhere where there's competition between the battalions. There's not an isolated battalion there. And Townsville is the number one choice, not because of military, not because of the MH90s, not because of the naval base that's attached, but because Cactus Jack's is there. And it's a way of life in itself. One buffalo wing at a time. It's all you need. How are we going? Have we been speaking too long, or do you want more? Oliver Twist, do you want more? Let me know. This is an important subject. If we do our officers right, then our soldiers are the ones that benefit. Lauren's laughing. Buffalo wings, so good. Cactus Jacks. There must be people going, who the hell is this Cactus Jacks? It's the best Mexican cuisine made by Australians in Australia that accounts for 10% of Mexican drowning. So people come from the mainland to try and get to Australia just for that tangy barbecue sauce that's on the buffalo wings, an animal that doesn't in fact have wings. But that's doubled up with, are you ready? Let me tell you, with chicken and beef fajitas with an extra tortilla, guacamole, sour cream, and salsa with a fine Chianti. And you're eating it outside because the temperature allows you to do so. It is the best. The best. Hey, Georgie, how you going, mate? Because I wanted to do an infantry gap year to better myself, to grow up and to gain experience, and also because I will look good on a resume. If I looked at other careers, are these the right reasons? I would just simply make one change to that, mate, and that is, you're doing it for the wrong reason there. I would say you go and commit yourself to 4 years. A gap year won't do enough, mate. You're going to do all the hard work, and then you're going to be out the door before you actually get the rewards. Going for the 4 years. Going for the 4 years, and it's going to change you. You're going to become a different version of you, but it might be exactly what you need to have an entire life with security, with adventure, with friendships, with mentors, with a way of life that makes you go, I wish I had a Canon R5 that's $8,000 nearly in Australia, despite the fact it's only $4,000 in America. It's really pissed me off. Or go for the Canon R6 to take those fantastic, juicy photos. 20 megapixel or 45 megapixel for the R5. Not that megapixels mean everything. Low light conditions, sometimes the 20 megapixels is all you need. Dave, hi Kaz, I managed to get a hold on an Australian Army pamphlet, Junior Leadership on the Battlefield. Yep. It's a brilliant read. Yep, we used to have to carry that around with us, mate. Fugly reckons he's on a diet and he's not helping. More sex, less food, and you'll be right. Ace of Games. Hey, Kaz, what do you reckon of the digs down at Brizzy? They're fine. The soldiers are good everywhere in Australia, mate. They are. It's just the best locations are here. And opportunity creates better soldiers, so to speak, which become better commanders. There's no monopoly on who has the best lieutenants, who has the best section commanders, etc. But they normally come from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd battalions. Yep. The other rank we were talking about, if lieutenant is one of the best ranks, what is the best? It's probably major. The reason is if you become a major, you have 3 lieutenants that work for you. You have a captain that works for you. You have a CSM that works for you. You have 3 sergeants. You have nearly 12 section commanders. And you have a whole bunch of soldiers, all volunteers. And you have no supervision. Okay. Not only that, you're on good money. You get opportunities to do postings overseas to USA on exchange. You can really, really make a company like Captain Winters, for example. Because remember, in America, a captain leads a company. In Australia, captain's the worst rank in the army. An administrational person who doesn't control a platoon, doesn't control the company, is always trying to assist the platoon commander, but administrationally is absolutely driven to the edge and is always competing with a warrant officer that's been in for normally nearly 4 times longer than he has. So it's just a push-pull of no reward, but it is a necessary step to prepare them for being a major. Once you get to major, fantastic. I don't know. I don't even know why they get out except to go to the executive levels of civilians. Catonius BLM is just a guideline. If you're in good nick, I think you'd be okay. I'm not sure what that's about. PK, how's AK? What happens to lieutenants that just don't cut it as leaders in infantry? See you later. They either go or they become bad captains, and then some of them become good majors, or they continue on and they become destructive to everyone around them for the rest of their careers. I've seen that happen a lot. I've had some bad bosses, but not many. Almost all of them have been fantastic. Australia does something right. I think we've got too many officers, but Ace of Games, well, how do you accidentally pass your U session? I don't know how you can do that. Slim Jim, I don't know about that one, boss. When we tried that before, they all got in trouble with the law. I'm not sure what that one's about. BMI. Okay. Body mass index. Okay, it's going well. Thanks, Kaz. Week 6 now. There we go. Monish, where is he? What do you need to know there, mate? Let us know. Hey, GI Super, how you going? The Super Jew. Good to have you here, mate. I bet you can save money. Sell us a diamond. It's nice to see you, GI. Hopefully Nev is doing well also. I haven't heard from Felix the Cat in a good week. I hope he's doing well too, and his lovely lady. GI, it's going good. Always better with a live stream. Thanks, GI. Thanks a lot, mate. I hope you enjoy this one. I feel like my energy has peaked at just the right time to give you what you need. Okay, Katoni's the same. Monash asks, does BMI matter in the army? Yes. I passed my assessment day, but when I checked my height and weight recently, my BMI is slightly overweight. Katonius, look, they look at you as well. You see when someone, does BMI matter? Yeah, it does. It matters if you're too thin. It matters if you're too fat. But they also look at you, and there's a bit of common sense thrown in there too. If you've got a thick neck, very muscular build, right, look like you're probably going to sink in water, it can still be fine. They understand when you're heavier than what your height should be, right, that there is a bit of fudge room in there. So you'll be okay. They don't tell you go and lose some muscle. If they do, go and pull it. Major Benson, it peaked, but on 2 streams, I missed the first part. Hey, Kaz, can someone who is a soldier become an officer? Yes, but normally after they get to the rank of sergeant, and then they can do a crossover if they have been given a recommendation, nominations from other officers. Otherwise, no. VB, hey, Kaz, what is a typical day for an infantry soldier like? It's a great day. It's a great day, VB. I'm glad you asked. SOS, I'll be with you in 2 seconds. Mutsu Cow, SOS. but he's not actually in trouble. He's one of our great subscribers. A normal day, okay, in an infantry battalion is you get to work at 7:20. Anything later, you can go to jail. That's late, and that's an offence. You go there, you do a muster, you form up. The platoon sergeant comes out, he accounts for everyone with a role. From there, you'll go away and do 45 minutes to an hour of PT, where that's led by a PDI, platoon commander, platoon sergeant, section commander, etc. After that, you will spend the next hour getting into your uniform, having your first lunch, morning tea, so to speak, with either the boys, okay, or with a girl, yours or someone else's, and then you'll come back in the rest of the day and you'll do your training. And then you'll train until lunchtime. You'll have your second lunch. And that goes for an hour too. Then you'll come back and you'll continue training until you're knocked off, normally a little bit earlier than 1600. Then you go home or do a second PT session and then go into what you want to do. You can do barn dancing. You can run up Castle Hill because all the girls of the town run up Castle Hill or the Strand at about 5:30 in Townsville, where you should be. And other than that, you just live your life. Take all your mates out. Go for a drink. Go and buy some clothes at Stockland Plaza. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can go back into study. You can do sports if it's been allowed. All of this in between going outfield, going on operations, etc. And it's all able to be changed at a moment's notice. SOS Hi Kaz and team, if, at work, so we'll need to watch later. Take care of everyone. SOS, Patreon member, all the best to you. I hope you enjoy. And again, everyone, this is the time to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get this channel that does so much for so many. Let's get it to just 1 billion. Just 1 billion. That's all we need. Thank you very much, SOS. Ace of Games, we truly live in a simulation. I get what you're saying there. Stoddy, if a doctor or medic took that BMI as gospel, they need a Stoddy slap. Yeah. One of the things that happens in the US is they'll look at when you're going for promotion, etc. Give us a photo of the way you are now. Give us a photo of the way you were last year, and give us a photo of the way you were the year before. Are you putting on weight? Are you getting overweight? Are you going backwards? Have we seen any change in those other than the aging process? Okay, and then that can also, in appearance method, because we still, need to call a spade a spade. If you're overweight, you need to do something about it because you wear the Australian uniform, you wear the Australian flag on your uniform, and you might be the only person in a uniform that people meet. And at the moment, if it's at COVID, I would be shielding our fatties from being seen by civilians in case they think that that's A-OK for Australian soldiers, which it's not. There is people that are injured, legitimately injured, doing their job, who are retained with reclassifications medically, that may have hurt themselves. They may have hurt their back, but their skills are fantastic. Their attitude is fantastic. They deserve to be looked after. So don't also tarnish them with, oh, look at that fat soldier. There might be a real reason. That person may have been shot and wounded. They might have been blown up. They might be missing a leg under that uniform. So don't judge them too quickly, but we do judge our own, and we need to be able to judge our own because it all comes down to capability, and we move at the speed of the slowest person. Does this make anyone want to have a picnic seeing this shirt? Look at these hands. They used to be covered in calluses. I don't look like a wood chopper at all at the moment. Do you think the unrest in the USA will turn into the new civil war or Major Benson? I don't think it will. I think they'll find a way to circumnavigate this because everyone knows exactly who's wrong. We know who are in the wrong in the USA. It's very, very easy. It's not two sides to this coin. What it is there's an absence of truth. There's an absence of truth. Now, it's just come out now that the commander-in-chief has now got raving. Don't listen to the media, but there is raving reports that the majority of African Americans in the US completely back their commander-in-chief, and they have had enough because their communities are getting burnt by opportunists, not by any political reason. And there's people that are attaching themselves to this out of immaturity that could ruin their lives forever, giving themselves criminal convictions that prevent them from leaving the country, that could put them in jail, that could ruin any chance of ever having a government job, military job, executive role. It could completely negate their university degree that they've just passed. It could put them in jail. And as a result of being in jail, their life can be changed or snuffed out. Sam, have you heard about the star theory in the Defence Force? I think I have. I'm not sure what that one's about anymore, but it makes sense. I've heard of it. Catanius, civil war erupts, UN intervenes, everyone ends up in FEMA camps. Alex Jones turns out to be right. Catanius, our favourite Roman. Sam, Army sleeps under them, Navy navigate by them, Air Force choose their hotels by them. Yep, that's the one I've heard. Kaz, why doesn't Perth have an RAR? I don't know. I really don't know why they don't. Probably because we don't have enough battalions. They've got their Special Air Service Regiment. I think it'd be fine if they had an infantry battalion over there that could assist them in roles. They've got Army Reserve over there. It wouldn't hurt them to have them. It could be a cost thing, mate. Why did you choose Townsville, Kaz, and not another unit? Townsville's always been the best place to go to for infantry soldiers, mate. When I was there, the 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, always were the best battalions. And 2nd, 4th Battalion and 1 RAR. And it was like being in jail, being in the 1st or the 2nd, 4th Battalion, because it was brutal. There'd be fights at night time. There'd be fights in the morning. There'd be fights during the day. You'd go out and you'd own nightclubs where if another battalion came into, there'd be bloodshed. There was whole clubs you wouldn't go to unless you were infantry. Yeah, and when all of my mates went to 1 area, I went, well, I'll go to 2-4. I like supposedly the underdog. I went up there and had a ball. I went up there on the recommendations of my section commanders at Kapuka and the School of Infantry. That's normally how it works. And I didn't look back, and I loved it. And there was nothing better than turning up to the School of Infantry and someone going, where are you from? You go 2nd Battalion. They go, hey, how you going? 1. How you doing? There's rivalry between the battalions, and that's fine. There's rivalry between netball teams. There's rivalry between rugby league teams. It's normal. It's how you get better. It's tribal. We're tribal. Is someone racist if they come from the Cowboys team and they don't like someone because they're in the Canterbury team? Don't know. MSC, I like how my mate, who has 2 parents in the Air Force, doesn't understand my jokes about it being fancier money-wise while they are moving into a 3-story house in a family of 4. Yeah. Mate, the Air Force, we need them on that wall. We do. But I think it's because they're as close as you can get to being a civilian and in next to no danger in their entire career. Whereas the Navy and the Army can be in extensive danger for prolonged periods of time. Having said that, we've got JC from our channel that was a RAFI that was also working with military in Afghanistan. So there's roles that will have common ground that aren't as RAF-esque, so to speak. I've never been to WA. I need to go over there. Wild West. Rory, I'm 5'6" and 58 kilos. Be my and so do as much as anyone else. Would they still say nah to commandos? Mate, Rory, at the end of the day, man, you'll go in and go to infantry unless you do the DRS direct entry to commandos. You'll make your own. You're an individual journey. It's what you can do. It's your intellect. It's the way you answer questions. It's the reason why you want to do it will determine whether you can make it, not your height. Okay, mate? 5'6". And if you don't, does that mean you've come up short? You're going to have awesome amounts of leg room everywhere you go, mate. There's a lot of short people in the military. And a lot of them are very angry and very strong, and very, very capable. What about Aggies? Look, Aggies are the toughest raffies. That's what they are. You know, they're not in danger, so to speak. An Aggie is an air defense guard. Look at what their role is. It's not like infantry. It's not like special forces. You are a security guard, up-gunned, up-vehicled, up-technologied for the ability to locate, trespassers, potentially those that wish the air point of entry harm, and you have the powers within those wires to be able to neutralize that threat. The dangerous thing is it's easier to see you than it is to see the transgressors, and they're going to take into account that they need to get you through you first, so chances are you'll receive the first punch before you give it, and for you to get that punch means they've already come past the infantry to get to you. So, Aggies, know a lot of them, real good blokes, but it's not my cup of tea. I want to get tested. Kaz, will 2RR become a third commando unit eventually? No. Tassie's beautiful. Yeah, I need to go to Tasmania too, because that's one of the places I need to go with my Van Halen when I get it. And I know now I'm going through Skyline camper vans. It's going to be fantastic. GI Super Jew, do you get a choice of where you want to be posted after finishing Singo? You do, GI Super. You do get to say what battalion, and I recommend as soon as you get to the School of Infantry, you make it well known. I want to go to 2RR, I want to go to 3RR, or I want to go to 1RR, or I want to go to 6, or I want to go to 8, 9, or I want to go to 5, or I want to go 7, and know why. And you'll normally have a section command from one of those locations that will be, you can become their vampire familiar. And then from there, they'll tell you all the goods about it, all the cons with it. And then you decide if that's where you want to go. And if you perform well enough at the School of Infantry, you normally get exactly what you want. Stickman says, did you encounter many blokes who made it through direct entry commandos? Look, Sticky, I dealt with and trained platoons that were direct entry commandos. And the advice that we give to them at the time is don't even think of commandos while you're at the School of Infantry, because anything that goes wrong can prevent you from ever getting there. Do not get ahead of yourself. You don't start the commando segment until you've left the School of Infantry. You have to pass it first. So stop trying to put the entire elephant onto one wrap and try to eat it. Otherwise, you might overwhelm yourself. You got me laughing out loud, Kaz. That's all right, mate. Robbie Kent, that note about BMI is attached to the latest recruitment drive. I'm not sure about that one. Dave D, just imagine being the toughest guy in the RAF. He'd probably think of Corps transferring into transport in Army. What makes him? Is it the best volleyball player? Is it the guy with the oldest looking dog tags? I don't know. We need RAF. We do. Fugly Dave, Will Backer. Ask JC. Was he the toughest guy in RAF? He might have been. I went to Tassie in January, and Cradle Mountain is amazing. Because what's the difference between the 1st and 2nd Commando Regiment? 1st Commando Regiment's Army Reserve, mate. It's made up of cops and ex-soldiers. Army Reserve. 1 day a week, 1 weekend a month, as opposed to every day. Cradle Mountain's awesome. Slim Job. All my secos were from 2RR. They must have been good, Slim Jim. Will Macca, Rory. 1st Commando Reserves and 2 Commandos full-time. Yeah, there you go. Let's jump down. Oh, shit, I didn't realise we had so many here. Rex, finally going home tomorrow after staying with my family down the peninsula so I can go back to my main PC. Good job. Say good day to Mum and Dad. Welcome back, Moby. Anyone welcome? Remember Mr. Cutter, Arnold Horshack. Aggies are special, yeah, like small bus window licking special, says Stoddy the medic. I remember the song, but not, well, we love him a lot because he's got it on the spot. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Lauren, do you remember The Littlest Hobo? That song still makes me feel sad. Lauren thinks about welcome back, Cotter, every time someone comes back on stream. Fantastic. Stickman, the guy that brought as much his own gear as possible. Okay. Moby. So to be an army commando, you have to have been an infantry soldier. That's correct. No, you can go from another corps. But what happens then is if you make it into the selection for commandos, you then have to be infantry qualified. The reason is that commandos are upgunned, up-trained infantry. And they'll do their subject courses as well as additional commando courses with infantry counterparts that are from the Royal Australian Regiment, not from the Commando Regiment. They're advanced infantry. That's what they are. So if you came from aviation and you want to go to commandos and then you pass, you're going to still have to come back and do your time at the School of Infantry to become infantry, to get the qualifications, to get the weapon system qualifications, to understand how to hunt humans, etc. You don't suddenly go tactical brain because you've passed the weapons quals that come with being in the 2nd Commando Regiment. Drunk Aussie's back. Starvin Marvin's here. I've worked with RAF and Navy personnel on both of my deployments, and what we did together as a team would surprise you all. That'd be awesome. When we're in operations, I've worked in tri-service a few times now. There's never anything personal, but as an infantry soldier, I have to have competition against my Navy brothers and our Air Force brothers. And there's not really a comparison between anything in Air Force as far as danger goes in asymmetric warfare with Navy and Army, and even Army over Navy is considerably more danger as being in the Army. So naturally put ourselves on that pedestal. Lauren Shining, you whisper snappers don't know good TV. Bye-bye, Kaz and Lauren. See you later, Timmy. Australian Commando similar to US Army Rangers. Gav, I'd say that is a perfect analogy. The Rangers, okay, and Commandos, I think they'd have a lot of shared qualifications and they've worked together. Okay, Slim Jim, weak clearance divers for our EOD. Weak clearance divers for our EOD or MTF1. Well, clearance divers have got a very dangerous job. They're in danger even when there is no enemy. They can be one of the most dangerous jobs, actually. They love their push-ups too. Molly Adams, so when commandos training is like 12 months, it's really 12 months plus pre-existing infantry training, plus Kapuka. Yeah. And plus time in your battalion learning how to learn the language. Because remember, when you go for commandos, you're also in a competition against section commanders that have already deployed, infantry section commanders, platoon sergeants that have given up all their rank to go back and be a private soldier within the commando regiment. That's why I say to you, I think it's better for people to go and be in the battalion first or second or third battalion, and then go over and then try out for commandos. Once your injuries are better, once you have got your back is good to go, your head is good to go, administrationally good to go, your base camp is set, you get to train on a physical training program that prepares you, you know how to use all your weapon systems, you know the basics of most things, and have dipped your foot in most qualifications, and then you go down there so there's not as many surprises. Don't feel like there's a fire hose on in your mouth saying, have a drink, sir. We've got 10 minutes to go, team. Soda and sweep. Fugly. Lauren, I didn't think TV was around when you were young. Oh, shit. I'm older than Lauren. Wurzel Gummidge. There you go. That's me after a big night on the VB. Robbie Kent. Tim just checked Vic Poll website. They're still mentioning BMI, but I guess they haven't updated it at all. Look, I want to say something to you really quickly while we're talking about leadership, honesty, and that sort of stuff. Just remember, when you go to join the military, the tri-service, whether you go for Air Force, whether you go for Navy, whether you go for Army, whether you go for a combat corps or whether you go for a support corps logistics, you chose that. Don't get in there and then get butt hurt if you feel like you're lower on the totem pole and who's cool and who's not. You know what I'm saying? You choose your career, so don't get butt hurt about it. Don't go to Aggies instead of doing 40-kilometer bloody advanced to missions, or to be in the sea cat and close the enemy, kill or catch him, seasonal ground, repel, attack by day or night, regardless of season weather terrain. If you're always going to be in a vehicle, don't then start comparing yourself to those outside your wire who are hunting the bad guy and then say we're sort of the same when our roles are absolutely not. We choose our roles. We choose our service. We choose our careers. Okay, and it should tell us a little bit about what sort of person you are, the core that you've gravitated towards. But by no means does being infantry make you the best. There's logistical people that are absolute dynamos in not only management, but project management, but also in time management and also tactics. Some of them are fantastic, absolutely amazing. So when we come on this channel, we broad brush topics. Don't try and separate some of the hairs of the bristles of the brush and say, is he really saying this? I'm not. It's up to you to bisect that and ask questions. And I don't watch what I say, but I'm also not deliberately disrespectful to anyone within the military because they're volunteers and their parents are proud of them, and so they should be. What was I going to say? Who's cooler? Who's cooler? Oh, what's his name? Favorite actors. It used to be Val Kilmer was a fantastic actor in movies like Tombstone. What's his name? He's in American Psycho. He was Batman once as well, like Val Kilmer. Fantastic actor. I'm trying to think what his name is. Here we go. Although Neymar wouldn't get that offended going. I'm trying to think, what's his name? Fraggle Rock. Stop it. Christian Bale. Rory Kay. Bam. Must be a fan as well. Christian Bale, I think, is a fantastic actor. And apparently he's coming out in another movie soon. Tom Hanks is also coming out in another good movie soon too. I couldn't believe it when Gran Torino, Clint Eastwood. I couldn't believe it when I looked at the movies, and some of the movies are up there are nearly a year old. They're in the movie theaters at the moment. Is that enough to go and watch something just to have the popcorn? I don't know. How's your tomorrow going to look, team? Who put a thumbs up if you're going to go in there? Challenge Kaz. Platform. How long can you platform for? How long can you keep that steady platform for? And I cannot stress to someone before they've got a bad back how important it is to work on that transverse abdominal muscles. Isn't Batman a fat, disabled, black trans woman yet? No, Catonius, no. Batman is my favorite. Because he doesn't have any superpowers. He's just a good street fighter. Plank 1 minute at the moment. You're going to have to get better to beat me there, Addy boy. I'm on 2:30. Used to be 4 minutes in high school. Rory. Well, let's get it going. We might call this the Rory K. Rory K planking. Something along the lines of that. We'll see how long we go for. Women are extremely strong with their abdominal muscles a lot of the time, especially those that have done the yoga. So we'll see what we can do there. And the reason why I say it is because the transverse abdominal muscles, when you actually do the planking, that will significantly help you in push-ups. Okay? The almighty pina colada will make her of, I've had the idea in my head. I'm not sure what that one's about. Robbie Kent says, I can do 3 minutes plank, but I cry at the 2 minutes 40. I'll put some good music to it too, but not enough that you can't hear me in pain And how long should it go for? How long, should it go up to like 7 minutes, do you reckon? 6-minute abs, 5-minute abs? What do you reckon? Count Duckula. True story. I plank for 6 hours a night. Slim Jim. That's why I come here. It's the fun. KK's here. William Dafoe, great actor. One of the best. Maker, it's Jared. 8-minute abs. That's tough. 8 minutes. Let's see what we can do. 7 minutes, says Corporal Banjo. Whoa. Banjo, 7 minutes. We might go for 7. Okay, Stickman's going to enter his time now at 0 seconds. Not as good, not as smart as the 6 to 7 hours a night. I like that one. But I might put that video out in the next day or so. Will Macker, Pina Colada, if you want something fast-paced, the closest thing you can get, that is infantry soldier with an advanced medic course. It's with controlled drugs, you got to make sure you don't use it on yourself too. Boondock Saints, Fugly, you're right. Right on. Who's going to go and watch our Aussie fighting in UFC 251 on Sunday, 12 o'clock starting undercard? That's worth the money. Usman fighting, what's his name? Masvidal. That's going to be a great fight too. Roger Ramjet, he's our man. What about Aquaman? If I eat this oxy gum, if I eat this gum, I can breathe underwater. Inspector Gadget. I'll outplank you, Kaz, any day. Bring it. KK, I believe you will, but I want to make you prove it. Benny Cooper, now there's a legend. How's 100 push-ups a day coming there, mate? Benny, amazing, mate. For those that are just getting on here now, I've been doing 100 push-ups every day. I missed one day, and that was because I was taking my daughter to the zoo, and that was 2 days ago. Now, I went from 14 minutes 30, realizing how far that I've dropped. Not worth sleeping with, he says to the top 10 models of the world. But now I've got it down to 7 minutes and 43 seconds, I think it is. 7 minutes 43, I think. And on that, mate, I'm stoked. Hey, guess what? The person that this video is all about tonight has been watching our stream. We're not going to say his name. This is the Legionnaire X. I'm sitting back watching the stream and just wanted to send a Nutsu cow, if that's how you spell it. Great to have you, mate. I was really stoked, and I hope you enjoy the first half. And let's do a recap before we roll out of here. Today, okay, well, the last few days, we got an information. Okay, this is the summary, the cap off of today, so to speak, that one of our long-term subscribers, a hero, there's a hint right there, but we're not going to tell his name, and he's not a dentist. He went through and done his OSB, Officer Selection Board, and became highly recommended, which meant he was offered, there's a contract for the next 11 years. So instead of going and doing a university degree that he may pay for his own money, considerable money, hex bill forever, may not get a job in that industry. Now this young man has been accepted next year to go to Duntroon, ADFA, and Duntroon after it. And what's going to occur is he is going to go and do a university degree for 3 years. He will do, I think, around 9 days a week, 9 hours a week, will be on military. Other than that, he'll be doing his studies. First year, 43,000. Second year, 46,000. Third year, 55,000. And then the fourth year, as an RMC graduate, he will be on about $60-something thousand, get out, and then have a jump up. That is going to require him, as a 17-year-old, to go into manhood with an 11-year contract, which means he has paid the yellow brick road. The rest of his life is now going to be sorted because who dares wins, he does. He made the decision. He went through with it. He signed the papers. This is all about him. This whole stream was all about him. Can you do it? Yes, you can. You've got to be the right person. You've got to have the right traits. You've got to be honest. You've got to be humble. You've got to be a leader. You've got to have proof of leadership. You've got to be inspired. You've got to be able to listen. You've got to be able to look at what your failings are and work on those, not just on what you do well. You've got to be a self-starter. You've got to think of the silver soldier. You've got to remember the roles, the responsibility, and the privilege to lead other volunteer soldiers who have parents in Australia who are saying, please never take our kids on another great adventure that doesn't bring them home unless the juice is worth the squeeze. And even so, please bring their body back and drape it in the flag that we love so much, that sometimes is rarely brought up about patriotism, because Australians are worth defending. They are. And if people stop enlisting, then no one will protect the sheep from the wolves. We already don't allow toy guns. We don't have toy soldiers. Where do our mentors come from? We don't like to put our military on the TV. Real heroes wear uniforms. I'm not talking about rugby league, right? SES, Fire Brigade, Police, Thin Blue Line, JC, thank you. Matty Hahn, well done. Army, Air Force, Navy, paramedics. Okay, and to anyone else we may have missed out, apologise for that. So we need to make sure our people, our kids, see the right mentors and get exposed to them, if you know what I mean. Because that's where the cream of the crop comes from. Those that leave the benefits and the guarantees of comfort and safety and go outside the wire and are tested, not knowing what the outcome will be, but being prepared to meet whatever the task, and understanding that our mission, no matter how successful it can be, doesn't necessarily mean there's no casualties. You could lose 1,000 people on a mission that's still classed as success. The same mission could lose 1,000 and is considered an abstract failure. But it's our leaders that make decisions, righteous decisions, with the blood and the resources, with the bullets, with time, okay, that determine, okay, the outcome of this country. And we need to prepare for war in order to maintain peace. That's what we do. You don't need to understand it. It's pretty well common sense. And the people that step up, put the boots on, that are willing to say, I do, I will, they're the ones that give us the opportunity to spend this life, play in the park with our kids, surfing, etc., and choose a lifestyle that we choose. As long as you do something, you contribute into the country. And that something means working. If you're not working, then have kids. If you have kids, make sure they're not shitbags. Make sure then some of them contribute. If you're going to stay at home and have kids, at least have 2.2. Be a good Aussie. And if everyone was a good Aussie, imagine that. If every single person picked up one piece of paper a day and no one threw paper on the ground again, there would be no litter. People say, how is there not world peace? You go, because you can't put 5 people, okay, in a limo without there almost being a fight within a couple of hours. Humans are unable to get along in confined spaces, let alone great expanses. If you want the best peaceful life, move out. Get away from cities. Go out into the outback. They'll take your tax dollar. They'll take the calloused hands. This life is here for living, not to be wrapped in doonas. But we need leaders to lead our men and our women so that the concentration of skill sets is able to get the job done successfully every time, because you can't afford to get it wrong even once. Train hard to come back alive and victorious from where we get sent. God bless you for what lives you have ahead. And God bless the hero that we're speaking about today. When I say hero, that's because he is the hero of Troy. That's who it is. I'm not going to tell you what his name is, because he's not a dentist. See us later. That's all about him. Leadership is a lonely trail, and only a leader knows what it is. I don't know what it's like. I support the ship. I'm not a leader. Don't want to be the leader. But I want you to be, if you can be. Good on you. Take it easy. And remember that our freedom wasn't free. See us later. See you later, Coops. See you later to everyone that made donations of time. You could have been anywhere tonight. Thank you to our moderators, even Fugly. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. And hopefully I'll pop up with something for you this weekend. See you later, bed bugs. And they're selling those pillows still at Aldi's. Charcoal, mouth-breathing pillows. See you later. Take it easy. Mucho respecto. Out. Not so cow.